Because every day is another day. But if you carry the same drive every day, it gets boring, it gets old. That's probably why you plateaued.
Did you say Joe Ortega?
Yeah,
Are you on Instagram?
I am.
Okay. That's cool.
Awesome. It's Joe Ortega, CEO.
CEO.
I am on Instagram.
Damn. You actually just said something, which is why I stopped. I'm like, nope, gonna. If you got information, take it in.
Oh yeah, that's key.
Yeah, actually, you're.
Would you mind if we record this?
Oh, sure.
Can you record this conversation? I think this would be really cool.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
If you have no problem with that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, this is really cool. But I have a business. I moved back to San Diego probably about 3 years ago. I have a floral business up
Nice.
in the Bay Area.
Oh, nice. Which part of the Bay?
Pleasanton, California. So
Pleasanton.
East Bay.
Nice. I was just in Hayward like a month ago. Yeah, and then
Dude, California is such a small world.
it is.
It's such a small world.
So you have a floral business up there,
Yeah,
and then you
floral
moved
business,
down
yeah.
here to expand it.
Nope. I moved down here to be with family.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's always stayed small. Kind of what you were kind of dropping points on there is like if you don't have the intention,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
I'm curious about it because I think it's always plateaued.
Yeah.
Exactly why? Because I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want next.
Most businesses plateau because the owner of the business loses vision. So your business, there are so many people here in San Diego who runs a floral business and that's growing it.
Yeah.
So the market doesn't really dictate the growth of a company or the growth of your business. You dictate it. And I'll tell you this, like, it's the hardest thing to do is create a plan that you could stick and grow with.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard because there's so many things that's come up. Like, sometimes we build a business for the wrong reasons, but the right reasons are under all the bullshit. It's like, oh, I want to build a business because I want to be my own boss. Well, that's not true. I want to build a business because I want the money. That's not true.
Yeah.
So out of all that gets piled up, the real reasons under that, and when you just like cut the bullshit and you go, okay, I want to build a floral business because I love the feeling that people get when they get my flowers. That is the reason. Like, we have a media agency and I love the expression of clients when they go, wow, you built this for me? Like, this is what you did for me? I could care less about marketing, advertising, doing content like this. But the byproduct of this is why we do what we do. And so when you start with the why and you go, okay, well, I want to build a floral business because I'm talented as shit at this. But most importantly, I love it when my clients receive the product and the expression is just amazing.
How did you find your why? How did you, like, I don't know, because I kind of I feel like I fell into it. I've got the work ethic, so it happened for me.
Right.
But, like, I was just like, oh, I feel ditzy today. I just want to be creative, and next thing you know, I'm building more and more clientele.
Right.
Based on something that I just like did at home, you know.
Right.
And then, like I said, moving down here or just plateauing up there, like, where do you find your why? How?
You know, that's a good question.
What do I want next with the floral business? I don't know.
You have to stay inspired, and like, my why has similar traits to what it was a few years ago, but every day I reinvent it. Every day I have to re-inspire myself. And the number one thing that I do is I look at other people who are doing what I'm doing and seeing how they're successful, and then kind of like role modeling them to what we do. So, like, your why could start with as simple as I love the expression of my client and grow that over time. But you need to reinvent yourself every day because every day is another day. But if you carry the same drive every day, it gets boring, it gets old. That's probably why you plateaued.
Yeah.
So you need to stay inspired. That's the number one thing. And as cliche as, you don't need to listen to motivational shit. Like, staying inspired could be looking at this. But in business, staying inspired is being around a campfire. And what that means is being around people who are doing what you're doing at a higher level. Because if you associate yourself to someone who's doing what you're doing at a higher level, they're going to pull you forward.
To kind of like show me who you hang with, I'll show you who you are.
Yes, that. But that's also true to continue to grow, because if you, If you're only around you, like, you don't know what's possible. You only know what you've done. And the thing about humans is we don't know what we don't know. Right? So I always like watch people who do what I do. I stay committed to watching content every day because a lot of people that I'm inspired by, they're not here in San Diego. Right? So I got to be around the campfire. I have to associate with them so I can continue to be pulled forward. Because if I don't surround myself with people who do what I do, then I'm going to feel like I'm running in circles. I don't see what's next.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't see, and I don't know, people around you don't have any suggestions for you either because they're not doing that.
Yeah.
So I totally see your point.
Yeah.
That's
So, I mean, there's so many ways to pull yourself forward. But I think for someone like you, where you are, like you moved back to San Diego for family, but you probably moved back because you wanted to be in a different environment.
Yeah.
I would create a foundation of where you want 2020 to be. Think big. Write down, like we just did this a few days ago, like a page of goals. Like start there. Yeah. Write down what it is you want to do, why you're doing it. Tangible goals, like large goals, financial goals, every type of goal. And just look at that every day. And then look at who's successful doing what you're doing and just see how they could inspire you for today and take action on that inspiration. And if you do that every day, you're not going to plateau. You'll probably be like, man, this is really challenging to hit these goals, but you're going to be driven to hit them. See, if you don't have goals, you don't have targets. And if you don't have targets, then what is you're doing? You have an idea, but you don't have a target.
It's kind of stomping around now.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to have a journal with you every day that you carry with you. And you look at that first page of what you wrote down a month ago, and then you stay inspired. And you go, okay, what can I do today to hit this goal? And then you write down daily goals. You want to write down your long-term goals, and then you have daily goals. Your daily goals are what you need to do to hit this long-term goal today, right? And then you just keep writing them down, and you look at these goals. I look at my goals every morning and every night to remind myself. Because we're humans, and the number one thing that every human has in common is lack of accountability for what you need to do yourself. But if you have a journal, it's like, it's hard.
Yeah.
Even for like, I even need accountability a lot of the times. And even people who are really successful, they have accountability coaches and partners and etc. But humans are just not accountable for themselves. But they could be accountable for others. But when you have that journal, it kind of just helps you to be accountable for yourself. But I also would, here in San Diego, there's so many groups of people you could connect with to kind of be around that campfire. I know there's a lot of like entrepreneurial networking groups that you could just join and kind of see what other people are doing. That could be a good start. You don't need to be alone in this journey, and it sucks when you are alone.
Yeah.
So you want to be around other people for sure.
Yeah, and it'd be good that I'm new enough still that like I have like one or two people that I know, and it's cool, hanging out at the bar here and there. But at the end of the day, yeah, I guess I should like just, I don't know, Google's my best friend. It's like
being strategic is it. And you have to discipline yourself. Here in San Diego, it's easy to get lost.
Yeah.
Meaning like it's easy to go to the bar, have fun, and then like 3 months later you've been doing that every weekend. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy to be disciplined on what you do now. And I'll tell you this, business, to be successful in any business, requires strategy and discipline. And it's not hard. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Because where you are today is it's a result of what you've done prior to where you are today. So it's like, okay, if you're unhappy where you are, what caused you to be where you are today? Right? And it's a simple answer, but we don't want to take ownership of it. Oh, well, I lack discipline. So we make up all these bullshit excuses. But the simple thing is this. We lack strategy, we're not disciplined, and we lack accountability. Those are the three main reasons why someone isn't where they are today. That's it. It's no longer about your race. It's no longer about where you come from. It's no longer about are you born rich or you're born poor. Because I was born poor, but in my tax records, and make sure to cut this off YouTube, but I was born poor. I was born in the poorest part of San Diego. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it no longer, like those circumstances no longer equal success or failure. But if you could create a strategy, hold yourself accountable and stay disciplined, you could go freaking sky's the limit. Really. And it no longer matters what business you do either. Because every business model has consumers, and every business model has ability to be successful financially. So it really depends on like what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with your time? What are you going to do with your skills? And you keep saying you don't know, but and I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You're the first step. Just start writing things down.
Okay.
Because when you give yourself space to write things down, you're going to go from I don't know to like I think I know. And you keep doing it every day, and now you're going to know. It may take a week, a month, but if you don't start, you're always going to be where you don't know. Right? But the moment you start, you'll start to develop clarity. It doesn't happen overnight. Like, you're not going to grab a journal, write things down, and have clarity tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way, but it will happen.
I feel like it's one of those things like, you know, when your mom is like, I told you so kind of thing, you know, I'm uncomfortable now. Like, I feel like you're right. That's a really just solid, like, that's a physical thing, like putting it down on paper. Why not?
Right.
And seeing it every day.
Well, this is the good news is you have an opportunity to go in that direction. There's no bad news. There's no I told you so. There's no you did something wrong. We're human. And you're not an uncommon person. You know how many people are where you are right now? There's a lot of people. So you didn't do anything wrong because what you don't know, you don't know. So you didn't know that if you do all these things, it would result to success. Now you know, so it's up to you to do with what you know now. There's a saying, one of my mentors goes, do what's right until you find out what's wrong. And when you find out what's wrong, then do what's right. So now you know what's right, so start doing that. You know, and you'll get to a different place. Okay. But if you take no action on what you learned today, then that is your responsibility to why you're not where you are. You know what I'm saying? We're all born, like another mentor of mine goes, if you're born poor and you die poor, that's your fault. If you're born poor and you die rich or wealthy, well, you've done something with what you learned, right? So the more you learn, really the more you earn. But in my perspective, the more you learn, the farther up you get in life, if you take action on it. But if you don't take action on it, you're pretty much, if you don't take action on what you know, you're gonna have more regrets than anyone in this world. Because how many times you go like, oh my God, like I knew if I would have done that, this would have happened.
Yes.
I knew if I just stayed disciplined, I wouldn't be where I am today. And then you shoot yourself in the foot for not taking action on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to live that life. That life sucks.
Yeah, I know too much what you're saying right now. I know too much.
And another thing I want to leave you with is this. There's two pains in life. Pain of discipline, which hurts as much as the pain of regret, but the pain of regret is permanent. The pain of discipline is temporary. If you hold yourself and you stay disciplined, you stay committed, it's going to hurt in the beginning because it's uncomfortable, but the reward is always greater than the pain. But if you don't take action, you're still going to have pain because you're not taking action what you want to do. And then later on in life, it's going to hurt because you're going to have regret. So the question for you is, would you rather have, you're going to have pain regardless. But would you rather just focus on staying disciplined to live a life that most people won't live? Or would you live the life that you want to live and have more regret later? Those are the two roads that people will take. We all have pain.
Yeah.
It's not going to go away.
Damn.
But taking ownership of that pain, knowing that down the road it's going to, things are going to work out.
Yeah.
They will work out.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got to take ownership.
Okay.
But this will all be on Instagram and YouTube, so you can rewatch this video. What's your Instagram tag, by the way?
It's Keely_Kika_. It's
Okay, well, for those who are watching this, she's going to be the world's greatest florist, and you want to follow her as well. So this is going to be published.
Oh my God, thank you. Oh, that's so random, but this is so great.